Ahoy, landlubbers, it's me, your valiant Captain Vasco, and welcome back to the Dread Yacht, which we are viewing with the full skull ambiance set of upgrade things. My favorite bit about the skull engine, which we got in the last episode, is that it gives us little pincher claws on the front of the ship that, as far as I know, don't actually do anything, but look pretty cool. Alright, so if you happen to join me for my Arena Challenge special, then you'll know that we've gotten an extra charm, which I think is under collections. Good remembering me. The Bright Blade, which means when we're at full health, we're more likely to score a critical hit, which is a nice upgrade since we'll probably have to do a lot of damage to take Kaos down. That's right, this is the beginning of the end. Almost everything is in place. There's one more adjustment to make, and then upgrade all of our characters with their final abilities, and we will be set to take on Kaos. So the first things first, I switched to Lucky Wheels of Experience for the arena challenges, which I still think is probably a good decision. And normally in the past, you know that I switch back to Wheels of Wealth in this type of situation, you know, a level. But this time around, I think the choice is really between health or power. And, I mean, like, experience is still good, but there's no guarantee that you'll actually get a boost from it during the course of one final level. So I think I'm going to go with health this time around. Got the info button. That's not what I wanted. And the reason I want to do health is, you know, we're obviously going to be facing some large foes this time around, possibly even some sort of boss thing, believe it or not. And I think our best opportunity for success is to just keep our guys, like, healthy. So I think I'm going to go with health and see what that does. I've never actually tried going through a level with the health wheel active. Anyway, on to Persephone's cabin. We've got a couple of upgrades to get, as I alluded to earlier, and then we'll be on our way. So let's get things started. Now first I'm going to go ahead and buy Yoshi's Soul Gem ability. Now the reason I didn't show off anything ahead of time is because it's unlike anything that he has right now. It's actually a really cool ability and I'm excited to show it off. It will create a shield around us using our primary attack and also help us regenerate health. So let's take a look at that real quick. Alright, so we've all seen the regular sort of fireball sun attacks, but if you hold down the primary attack button, then the sun blast will sort of orbit around you once you have this upgrade. And as you can see, they're regenerating 5 health points at a time, which is nice. It can add up, especially if you're sort of like walking between groups of enemies in a level, something like that. I'm a really big fan of this, especially since I like shield abilities. But either way, staying healthy is going to be key, as I've already suggested, so this one will be a big help for this final challenge. Next up is Falco, and yet again I can't really show off a before other than to let you have a good look at him. So I'm going to turn him in every direction a little bit. Then we're going to go ahead and buy his armor upgrade, which I've already talked about in the past.
This thing on?
Once again, this is a Soul Gem ability, the Eagle Air Battle Gear, and it gives us like a visor, and I forget the full effects of it. Maybe I can make an annotation or something. I believe it's like primarily armor. I think it may affect like the speed of your jetpack or something, but I'm not entirely sure. What I can do is show you what it looks like. Yeah, it doesn't really seem to make any changes to his armor or anything, but, well, it's actually even kind of hard to see under the hat, but he's definitely got a visor on, and just as the upgrade description says, it's pretty sweet. Again, armor will help keep us safe and sound, so it'll be a good addition to our team. Hinata's up next for our final defensive upgrade of the day. Let's just go ahead and take a look at the speed of the bottle, because this should also affect the rate at which we move when we're in bottle form, in addition to giving us sort of a greater amount of defense when we're in the bottle. So we can't show off exactly how much the damage difference is that enemies are dealing to us, but maybe we can at least look at the speed. Yes, with buy a better bottle, our bottle is stronger and moves faster. Actually, I've always taken for granted that it's supposed to be more durable is the stronger, but maybe that's meant to be the blast attack. Perhaps we'll have to try and compare that once we reach the level. Well, what I can tell you is that the bottle does move along at a nice clip now. It's not terribly faster than the original form, but you're allowed to stay in it for a reasonable amount of time. And, there we go, that's It's interesting. It's moving a little bit differently now for no particular reason, but it's pretty quick, and yeah, it's definitely an improvement. Also looks a little bit different, just in case you couldn't tell. But yeah, different from where we started. Luckily I showed that off ahead of time. Now, on to some more attack-oriented upgrades. Now it's finally time to buy Rush's Soul Gem upgrade. This one's a little bit odd, but I would still definitely consider it an attack. So let's go ahead and take a look at our Super Comet Smash as it is now. We can hold it, we can sort of blast into the ground. Nice for quick movements. I've talked about all these details in the past. But we're going to make it a little bit more threatening, but in a really, really unfortunate way. The name of the upgrade? Ding Dong Ditch. The idea? I guess we're gonna be leaving some bags of flamin' what's-it behind. Yeah, I mean, there's a precedent for why a dog might have a bag of burning something or other in the real world, but I guess it'll keep the enemies away from us at the very least. Right, I didn't come directly out and say it, but this one works with our Comet move. So let's try it and see what happens. Oh, yep, now there is a flaming brown paper bag. Maybe you could store your lunch in it, but I wouldn't recommend it. That's all I'm gonna say about that. I don't know, I think there may be a limit to how many you can have on the screen at the same time, but I think it's like a couple, like at least 3 from what I remember. Well, look at that. There's several going on right now. Oh yeah, looks like it's 4. Well, that's a pretty good number of them. Especially since I don't usually use the Comet move all that much, but we'll have to try and make an effort to show it off in this final level. Alright, perhaps our last primarily attack-oriented upgrade will come from Pegasus, who will also be getting his Soul Gem ability today. It's, again, something I can't exactly show off a before for, although I can show you that when I hold down the A button, nothing special happens. Maybe we can change all that. I think I've talked a little bit about this one in the past, the You'll Shoot Your Eye Out upgrade. It's an interesting sort of short-range projectile. I find it very difficult to use, but I think it does a fair amount of damage, so maybe we'll get some use out of it in this level. Well, maybe there's no proper before, but let's see what happens after the upgrade. Alright, we hold down the attack button and we sort of get into position. Now we do have the ability to hold this down for as long as it takes to sort of line ourselves up to make the shot. And once we do, we just sort of fire our eyeball out. Again, it's a little bit tricky to use. You do have the ability to aim it, but if you're being swarmed by enemies, or really if there's just any enemies coming near you at all, I don't find this very useful. Definitely prefer, well, the flying mode if you hadn't guessed. I think it's very useful. And while this may have its applications, I think most of the time you're better off with regular attacks. Still, nice to get all the upgrades, and it's better than nothing. Alright, our last upgrade is going to be for Meta Ridley, and this one's a little bit different because it's going to boost his thrusters a little bit, so it's not exactly attack-oriented, although it does allow his thrusters to deal damage now, so that finally becomes an attack, which can be useful in some situations. But I think the easiest way to compare before and after is to use the main deck to sort of show off our speed, and yeah, the size of our like thruster flames as well. I think that's going to change once we get our upgrade. So why don't we go ahead and do that and see the difference. For those among you who are sticklers for terminology, of which I clearly am not, this upgrade is called the Afterburners, which will allow us to fly faster and damage enemies, as I've already stated. Pretty exciting upgrade. The dash type moves often, well, in the past, especially in Spyro's Adventure, most of the characters weren't able to do damage directly with their dashing type attacks. But this is a welcome change. Alright, all hands on deck for this final upgrade showcase. Oh yeah, that's a lot scarier. Now instead of just like a sort of like ion hover system or something, we've got actual flames. And, you know, they make a pretty big trail behind us, so if enemies are chasing us and getting too close, it's a really nice way to get rid of them. Not only does it get you out of the way of their attacks, but also damages them for their trouble. Alright, I guess that means that we are ready to go. Everything's in place, we've made our changes to the Luck-O-Tron, upgraded all of our characters, and leveled them as much as we can with the help of, well, our past challenges as well as the arena challenges. So it's finally time. Who should we start this momentous occasion with? Let's see. Well, despite his valiant efforts in the arena challenges last time, I think that Yoshi is actually our lowest level character. So why don't we kick things off with him and see if we can catch him up to speed with the others before we face our final challenge. Speaking of, it's time to talk to Flynn, because everything's in place.
Well, Chief, it's all up to you now. If you fail, we won't think any less of you. But we won't tell legendary stories of you either. You ready?
I imagine there won't be many stories to tell if Kaos gets his way. Things are probably going to be real sad times. So let's make sure that doesn't happen.
All right, buddy. Good luck.
Wow, no cutscene or anything to start us off. I guess things really are dire. No time for shenanigans. Anyway, we interestingly have a path up here with some extra treasure on it, but it doesn't lead anywhere. Which is kind of odd. Anyway, here's actually the section where our story scroll last time was referring to. This time around we still have some Roboto-Balls, but we can actually summon them with these gadgets that didn't show up in the last level. I'm not exactly sure why they only show up here and not the level where they're introduced, but that's fine. So what we're going to do is bounce over here, take out those guys, and let this ball just keep on rolling. I'll point out this location. Alright, that takes us to this room with yet more chompies. And our first collectible of the final level. We're really getting close to having a full collection. And this is actually a really nice one to start with, just in case you're not feeling totally prepared for this level, because we're about to get the final Winged Sapphire. That means that we will have the maximum discount at the store, just in case you haven't gotten all of your upgrades just yet. Or if you're playing with more characters than I am, making it a little bit more difficult to do so. Alright, but we're not done playing around with the Roboto-Ball just yet. No, it's a fun, old-timey Arkeyan giant robot death game. What could be greater? Well, perhaps golf with a gator. So we're gonna have to bounce up here and intercept the ball, because as we've seen... Oh, I messed that up. But if you don't manage to do it, then the ball will just keep rolling into that pit. You also run a slight risk of interfering too much and having it hit a wall. So you have to be very careful, which is how I ended up missing it the first time. We're going to do it again. Bonk. And touch the wall. Haha, great. Now we're going to be coming back here in just a minute, so keep that in mind. But for now, we have plenty of opponents to face.
All of Skylanders will feel the might of my giant Arkeyan robotic fish!
I'm going to try and take out these snipers first of all, because as I've pointed out in the past, they can do a lot of damage and are just plain old jerk faces, whom I don't particularly like. Oh, there's another one. I thought there were only two here. Well, glad that that mistake didn't cost me too dearly. But luckily now we're just down to this one enemy. Oh, but he intends to be a jerk as well. How about I give him some Melon Fortress? It's a really nice attack. It can do a lot of damage up close. Just gotta find the right way to attack your opponents. Otherwise, you know, it's kind of a slow attack and doesn't entirely protect you, only gives you a short window underground. Now there's our final soul gem of the game, but unfortunately we can't reach it. There's no bounce pad or anything here, at least not yet. You also might have noticed this very conspicuous wall with some large cracks in it, and that's why we need yet another Roboto-Ball from this first dispenser. Actually, the Roboto-Balls play a big part in getting all the collectibles in this level, so if you're just playing through looking for some general advice, you might want to just stay on the lookout whenever these devices show up, because you may need to use more than you expect in order to get everything you're looking for. Alright, now all we gotta do is bump this into the wall. Come on, just bump it, please hit the wall? What? Okay, apparently that's really hard. Shouldn't be. Hey look, more chompies in a cave. Terrific. Well, luckily we don't need to worry about conserving or directing our treasure in any particular way, so we can just pick up treasure chests with whoever happens to be handy. In this case, we're still playing with Yoshi, and I'm having fun, so let's go ahead and just keep on doing what we're doing.
Time for the harvest!
It's a lot of treasure. Now, the nice thing is, if you are at this point in the game and you've already gotten all the treasure you need, then all the rest you can spend on collecting hats or getting the various optional heroic challenges. There's a lot of cool things you can do. You can buy more Sky Stones if you're interested in having like the best Sky Stone deck possible, or you know, pick up the charms. Those can be pretty expensive, as I've talked about in the past. So now I've got sort of a maze of conveyor belts, but for the most part you can just sort of follow the path they lead you on, watch out for the flames, and hit these buttons when available, because they will open more paths further down the line. There will be a couple of times the conveyor belts are going to try and push you into the flames, and just be mindful of that. Again, these are like the ones we encountered at like Drillix's big rig, that we can sort of walk against without too much trouble, so we can avoid walking directly into the traps as long as we're paying attention and we know they're there. Oh, almost hit that one. Forgot there was another one quite so close as that. Now you don't want to follow that path all the way down, because that'll drop you to where we just were. Instead, you want to take that turn I just made so you can hit the bounce pad, get over here and press the button, opening up another path rather, to another bounce pad. Alright, mindful of the traps here. Should have just waited for it. I figured that there was enough of a gap there that it was going to let me across no problem. But I was mistaken. Again, another bounce pad that takes us over here, where we get another glimpse of a future treasure to pick up, the legendary treasure, the last one of course. And there we go, that button opens up a path further into the level. Now here we've got some of these tilting platforms we've dealt with in the past, and they sort of hide the way. Oh, you guys are gonna be jerks, huh? Alright, well, this platform here has some Arkeyan jousters and an Arkeyan bomber, but if you grab the bomb and throw it just right, you can make very quick work of them. Again, we've got some more jousters and bombers, same types of enemies, just different configurations. Oh, more of those bombs hitting the floor, that's no good. Alright, let's just get rid of at least one of those bombers. Having two of them at the same time can often be frustrating, as the bombs can be coming at you when you don't need them, and instead they're just threatening to blow up in your face. Alright, so we've opened up a bounce pad by clearing all of those enemies, but we're not going to take that one just yet. We're going to need it later, but I have a different bounce pad in mind. Of course, I'm going to obsessively collect all this treasure. Might still do some collecting just for personal things after we're done here, assuming everything goes according to plan, because I haven't finished collecting all the hats and stuff, and, you know, I could use the gold for that. Alright, so we've ended up, just in case you weren't paying attention, taking that bounce pad over here on the right side of that same area will allow us to jump over the ledge and drop down to the soul gem that we saw earlier. And we get an accolade for that, which I think increases the amount of experience we get from defeating enemies, which is nice. Alright, so Flashwing's soul gem is acquired. Don't know, haven't played with her, don't know exactly how this works, but I think Crystal Lighthouse allows her to like place things in the field that she can like direct lasers off of, sort of thing. Kind of similar to Prism Break in a way. Anyway, no need to look at that video. It's not going to tell us all that much. Instead, we'll head into this cave, because the cave directly north of that soul gem has an optional Skystones opponent, and you know how I feel about optional Skystones opponents. Gotta play them all.
I continue to protest the rule of Lord Kaos by laying down my weapon and playing Skystones instead. Would you care to join me? That is nice. Perhaps we will serve as an example to the others.
Stone collected.
Wow, that is definitely a tough fight. Gonna be honest, had to play that one like 4 times, I think, just now to win. Honestly, I can't give you a ton of great advice. The only things I can say are, like, be persistent, because his stones are very strong, but, like, they have 1 or 2 weak edges each, so if you just get him to play an unfavorable set of stones, then you might be able to take him out. Otherwise, I've already pointed out a couple of places where you can get particularly good sky stones from Auric's shop, and that's really the only other thing that might help you. The Skystone's opponents in this level are very tough, so don't take them lightly.
An excellent victory. I can only hope your final battle with Lord Kaos goes so smoothly.
Also, I think it's funny that, I mean, the implication he gives us is that this is the same Skystone's opponent we met in the last level, the Freebot, except now they call him Freebot 001. And I've already said there's more than one Skystone's opponent here. The other one is called Freebot 002. And I think it's even still supposed to be the same guy. So I forgot about it, but there's a bounce pad to take you right back up here, so you don't actually have to round the whole level again. Wouldn't that be super terrible and obnoxious? We've got ourselves another one of these, like, Roboto-Ball summoning things. We're not going to use that right away.
This moment about the impending future of Skylands is brought to you by me, Emperor Kaos.
Oh, Kaos. What a jerk you are. Alright, we're going to need the help of not only an Earth Skylander, but a giant, so there's really only one choice for this problem. You have to destroy a couple of, like, pots and things over here on the left side, but it will allow you to drop down here, open up this gate so we can get back to where we just came from. But it also gives us access to, well, an elemental gate. Try and make some good use of our boulder powers. Oh, wait, how did he reverse the direction of that? I've literally never seen a crystal golem do that. In fact, I was fairly certain that they couldn't do that, and it's weird. Man, the boulder thing does cause some weird issues with logic problems. Alright, well, we're just gonna have to play it safe then. Try and avoid his attacks, even though he's going to be very persistent with them. And smash all these crystals, because otherwise it's gonna take forever. I mean, I think I've mentioned in the past that you could theoretically, you can, like, do damage to the crystal golem. It's just, like, reduced to almost nothing. So you could try and take one of these guys out without getting rid of their crystals. I really wouldn't recommend it, unless you just, I don't know, feel like embracing the challenge or something, or I really don't know what you'd be going for there. Anyway, it looks like our armor upgrade from the recent past is already paying for itself. We took a couple hits, but not a ton of damage. However, we have earned ourselves a new reward for our efforts. The unusually named Scrumshanks hat. I don't actually know if this is a real hat, but it's a very specific name, and I don't know much about it. Anyway, it increases our speed and critical hit. Not the worst thing in the world. Why not put it on?
This rocks.
It does not mesh very well with our helmet, I must admit. It's one of the problems. There's a couple of Skylanders who have, like, headgear of sorts, hats and helmets and things, and they always tend to look very strange with the hats from the gift boxes, in my opinion. Alright, so our next challenge is to push a Roboto-Ball along that ledge and into this wall. But before we progress further, we're going to do that all over again. As I said, the Roboto-Balls are a very popular way in this level to earn special collectible treasures. Oh, yeah, that didn't work exactly according to plan. Yeah, again, moving the Roboto-Ball is definitely a lot easier with smaller Skylanders, but I don't want to be switching constantly in this level. Not after I've gone to all the trouble of, like, getting all of my guys very close to status quo of sorts. Alright, so, successfully gotten that across the ledge of tiny platforms and blown up this wall, which gives us another one of the treasures we saw earlier. The legendary treasure, the dragon, I believe it's the dragon head mast? Dragon mast head. Alright, I mean, same difference. Anyway, this is gonna complete our set of dragon apparel for the Dread Yacht, and hopefully I'll remember to show that off later before we wrap things up. Got more food items, definitely gonna save that for later. We got a relatively tough fight coming up here. Wait for it. Oh man, look at all these jousty jerks. And of course, these stupid juggernauts. I just love the juggernaut. How did I take 1,000,000 damage? Like, what is supposed to have hit me there? I genuinely, not a clue. No idea what that was supposed to be. Alright, let's just, wow, that was the dumbest thing I think I've ever seen. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I don't like this level very much, but I don't think you really needed me to tell you that. Alright, let's see if Yoshi can take these guys off real quick, because I think he's pretty close to leveling. Wow, that's so cool. I love when you summon a new Skylander and you just get completely stuck in place and there's literally nothing you can do and you take a bunch of damage for no good reason. That's like my favorite part of all the Sky... Oh, no, wait. That's like one of my 2 least favorite things that they do in Skylanders, and I would love for them to fix it because it's super dumb and I hate it. Alright, luckily we've got the Luck-O-Tron Wheel of Health, which has generated us a pizza. Wow, what is going on here? Like, I was expecting this to be, like, a particularly annoying fight, but this is ridiculous. This is out of hand, how much damage I've taken for, like, no good reason at all. Okay, great. Are you dead yet? Are you... Seriously? Wow, you're such a jerk. I'm gonna find where all your scrap parts went, Mr. Robot Guy, and then I'm going to make sure that they all rust. Okay, well, I'm gonna pick up these food items with Flint, so that we can perhaps call on his help later on if we end up needing it. Hope it doesn't come to that. I think our Skylanders team will have this all covered. But it's a good reason to save the food here because those juggernauts can be real jerks, especially when you can't easily get up behind them. The fights with them are always easiest when you can sort of just like go around behind them and attack where their shield isn't while they're trying to do the laser thing. In situations where that's not possible, it's generally worse to try and fight them. Alright, so before we head forward, you might want to notice this left path over here. It's a little secretive, but you can still sort of see it in the background. Oh good, more... Wow, how did I take damage from that? He wasn't even attacking anymore. I'm so sick of these shenanigans. Yeah, I had a lot of difficulties playing this level the first time, and haven't been too terribly excited to get back into it. But unfortunately, there's no other way to save the Skylands. So we're just gonna have to grit our teeth and deal with it. Alright, we got a treasure chest here. Gotta open that up. I mean, obviously, right?
Mountains of gold.
Yeah, I don't have any particular use in mind. Like I said, there's just various things I might spend the gold on after I'm done playing through the game. Also, I think I'd like to mention that I'll probably be handling things a little bit differently with Swap Force.
Attention, robotic citizens of Arks! It appears we have a birthday today. One of our elite guards is turning 10,047 years.
Alright, just gonna switch characters real quick. Kaos chose an inconvenient time to start talking.
Be sure to wish him well on his special day.
Alright, now we're going to use our magic Skylander to open the way towards a magic gate. And in fact, our last elemental gate of the game.
Skylanders of the magic element are stronger in this zone.
This one is hiding 2 collectibles from us, so we're gonna have to make sure to get both of those before leaving here. Anyway, as I was saying, Swap Force will probably be handling things a little bit differently, and one of the things I think that means is that all of the characters from my previous games, I think I'm going to level up to maximum in Giants before taking that on, just in case I decide to use any Guardians like I did once or twice in this series. Sorry. So the first thing you got to do is pull this lever, I think it's like... No, it's like 5 times to get it into this position. Basically, you can open the gate directly in front of you by getting the laser to hit a certain point. And then you have to pull it 1 more time. And that opens up this gate that was blocking our path in this direction. And oh look, it's a treasure chest. No, that didn't take very long, did it? Terrific, terrific. And just smash all the pots. I don't like pottery, apparently. I got a thing against it. Anyway, bounce back up. Now, normally, you're supposed to have to, like, reposition the laser to, lower the gate again, but it seems as though the gate has just stayed open for some reason. I don't think it's actually supposed to do that. But, yeah, the main thing is to get that laser into the position that opens that one gate there. It's kind of easy to miss it, but at the same time, you can see all these extra crystals that you otherwise aren't using. So, I think that's a pretty good hint indicator. Alright, so here we've got ourselves a little bit of like an American Gladiator's gauntlet. We've got these giant stone blocks that can act as sorts of shields for us. And at the same time we have a lot of ranged attacking enemies who are intent on shooting at us. Now we can use these as shields and push them closer to the bad guys. And that will help us get up to them without taking a ton of damage. But they also have a tendency to just pop up in sneaky places where it's difficult to both attack and dodge them. So it's most important to try and just attack your time your attacks well. Well, I suppose I've been having trouble speaking for most of this run of the game, and now's not a good time to change that. Alright, so here we have a weird obstacle staircase where we're going to try and not land on the teleporters, as they're going to just take us back down to the bottom of the stairs and cause us to start that mini puzzle over again. Alright, now over here we've got another set of obstacles. Where does this actually lead? Ah, food! Terrific! It gave us one of those weird personal Skylanders achievements. Anyway, we're supposed to get past all of these traps. Maybe I can use my bottle mode to get past this without taking damage. It's supposed to be quicker. Well, I think I should start doing it while the spears are still up if that's my plan, because it takes a while to get into the bottle for some reason. And that plan didn't work anyway. Yeah, again, another situation where giants aren't ideal. I've talked about it in the past. They have some shortcomings. It's still a pretty cool idea, but I don't know. Not exactly what I was hoping for out of the sequel. Here we go, our final hat of the game, at least in terms of the ones that we're going to find in the levels. This is the Rasta hat, which gives us 7 critical hit and 7 elemental power. Kind of weird to give us elemental power at this stage because there's no more elemental gates to use it in. Oh well, let's replace this bowling pin, as it is weird.
Splendid.
Oh, nope, my mistake. That wasn't any less weird. Alright, so now we can just head back to where we came from. We've gotten the 2 collectibles from this gate. And, yeah, now we can proceed with the level after we teleport back to it. Oh, by the way, if you talk to this Weapon Master statue, he's gonna tell you there's a hat in there. Yep, they just couldn't give it up. Alright, so now we've got ourselves a tricky little platform to try and use. Gotta get on it, and then we've got this button that lets us change direction so we don't have to wait quite so long to get all the way around to the other side. And now I've got another Juggernaut. Be still my beating heart. What a jerk he is. Oh yeah, there's a bunch of these Arkeyan bomber guys. And wow, I've never actually managed to pull that off before. Yeah, there's another one of those like Monster Gate style bounce pads over on a platform we're going to see in just a moment. And that doesn't open up until you beat those Arkeyan bombers. Now normally they sort of run away once you get rid of the Juggernaut, and then you sort of have to chase them over here. But in this case, I got lucky and managed to defeat them with their own bomb right where they started. But we're not going to use that bounce pad we opened up, the one on that platform I just bounced off of just yet, because instead, we've got more collectibles to gather, and a jerk face who's trying to kill us. There's really no good way to avoid this guy. It's a small platform, and you kind of need to attack him just as quickly as you can, because there's no real way to, like, get around behind him without either like walking into that cave or taking a bunch of damage. I sort of split the difference there a little bit. Anyway, inside here we will find our final optional Skystones opponent. Well, technically there's one early on that we never faced, but I'm not sure if we'll actually go back and revisit him. For now, let's just take this guy down, shall we?
You are closing in on Chaos, Skylanderoid. As I have refused to fight for him, I will not try to stop you. But I will challenge you to a peaceful game of Skystones. That is nice. I enjoy Skystones much more than battling.
Stone collected.
That one's much easier than our last opponent. He's got a strategy you can sort of exploit. The best way to handle him is to make him try and spend all of his tech Skystones, including these grenade generals and the Arkeyan Ultron, because it's not too difficult to sort of stay on even footing with him until the end, so as long as you can make him waste that last stone, pretty easy to beat him. But yeah, so there we go. There's our last Skystones opponent. Not only do we get a sweet new Skystone from him, we actually open the way to more treasure, but more on that in a second.
Your mind circuits are impressive. I am certain you will defeat Chaos, as the same cannot be said for him.
Alright, so this door opened when we defeated our opponent, in case you didn't notice, and it leads us to our final Luck-O-Tron wheel. And this one is a Wheel of Health, which would have been nice to have at the start of the level, but since I didn't actually buy all of the bulbs for this run, we didn't need it. In fact, we don't need luck to defeat Chaos at all, now do we? It wouldn't hurt. I'm not gonna lie. It would actually be very helpful to have some luck on our side. Alright, so there we go. That's that cave cleared out. 2 visits to Freebot number 00 something. Not entirely sure what's up with that. Let's switch characters again for a little while. How about we try out Laboon? Alright, so now we can take this bounce pad finally. This is the one that we opened up before. And it's going to take us to some food. Perhaps we should actually give that to... oh, it's weird. Weird little glitchy thing. Oh yeah, I've also had a lot of experience where when you press this button, your character gets frozen in place. I don't know why that happens. It's really silly and, quite frankly, pretty annoying. But, yeah, all that does is reverse the way all of these platforms in the middle here are spinning. So it's meant to help get you where you're going more quickly. Gotta watch out there. There's actually like a blade trap at the end of that run. I managed to just time it so that I got to the end right as the blade was stopped in place. I'll have a chance to show that off again in a second. There's one on either side of this area with the crystal golem. Let's just break this crystal. Oh, there's still a bomb guy. I thought I took care of all of them. Oh, you're such a jerk. How about I bite you and then bomb you? That was a pretty effective strategy. Earned ourselves a level, huh? Perhaps it's time to switch back to Yoshi. He's very, very close to leveling, but I don't think he quite got there the last time we fought with him. Maybe this experience will do it? I'm thinking no. By the way, why don't we also try out his regeneration shield? That'll help us while we're messing around picking up some extra treasure and progressing through some traps and puzzles and stuff. Now, there is a limited duration to the shield.
Celebrate my inevitable, complete, and utter conquest. This day shall forever be known as Chaos Day, in honor of me, your ruler. Apologies to anyone who may also be celebrating a birthday.
Alright, now before you head through that second spinning blade trap, you're going to want to stop over here and pick up the story scroll. Getting very close to the end of it, guys. Just one more collectible for the game. Classic Pirates. Well, that sounds like a fun one to end on. Let's read it, shall we? Or, again, we could have Eon do it. I'm feeling kind of lazy.
Of the many mistakes the pirates made with Cutthroat Carnival, underestimating the public sphere of an amusement park owned and operated by pirates, calling it Cutthroat Carnival, selling saltwater taffy, perhaps the worst one was thinking customers would pay money to be locked in a jail and shot by a cannon. Most of them ran screaming, leaving some valuables behind.
Of course, this is referring to the Cutthroat Carnival level, and I think you can guess exactly what part of the level we're talking about if you followed my journey through this game. One thing I also wanted to point out is that there is a sort of limited duration to the sun shield thing that our friend Yoshi has. But you can keep bringing up the shield as many times as you want, and you can keep regenerating for as long as you'd like. Just as long as you're willing to keep putting up the shield, you can get yourself back to full health. So that's one of the reasons I really like that particular upgrade. Hey, Alric, how's business here in the palace of the lost city of Arcus?
Ah, yes, I hoped I'd bump into you. Stocking up before a big battle? A fine idea indeed.
Alright, what do we got here? A couple more hats. Probably the single most ridiculous Skystone in the history of Skystones. Well, certainly in the history of Skystones if it's only in this game. So this has 4 blades on each side and can capture almost any 2 blades possible. Like, this is a really good stone, which is why it costs 6,500 gold. And then a regeneration power-up, which might be useful to you, especially if you're not playing with Yoshi with his ability to do that whenever he wants to. Anyway, here we find the final collectible, a chest. And actually, we have reason to switch characters here, so we might as well give him this treasure and then carry on with the level, because we're almost at the end. Alright, so like I said, we're almost at the end, so why don't we, really quick, try to remember the correct button to press, the objectives! And as you can see, we've got all of our collectibles, so there's nothing to stop us from going in head first and taking down Kaos. See you later, Alric. Thanks for all the help and moral support and whatever.
Behold! It is I, Kaos. And as you can see, I am awesome! Of course I was always awesome. But now that I have the fist of Arkeyan and assume the form of the biggest, most powerful robot ever, I am supremely awesome! So you probably better start running here.
That's good advice, Kaos. Weird that you would give it to us, your sworn enemies. But here is a part of the level where it's nice to have a Skylander capable of flying or dashing or something along those lines. Anything that'll let you move quickly is very helpful here. I'm not going to count Flint's ability in that respect, simply because the boulder thing isn't quite fast enough. I'm actually moving so quickly that the screen can't catch up with me, which is a little bit ridiculous. I think you're meant to run normally with a regular-sized Skylander. Huh. I guess we found our way to a Staples Easy button, because, well, that was easy. Alright, well, now that we've stopped Kaos, not much left to do, but to teleport back to the Dread Yacht. Oh crap, I've miscalculated horribly.
You think you're so smart because you found my secret red avalanche button. Well, I can hit buttons too. Well, now you're trapped, Sky Blunderer. And neither Eon nor any of your idiot friends can save you now.
Why don't you pick on someone your own size?
According to my calculations, he is technically larger than us.
Well, at least it's kinda close, right?
What? You dare challenge me, Robo-Chaos? Didn't you hear how awesome I was earlier?
I guess I didn't quite catch that.
Oh, you just made a big mistake. No matter. You want to play tag team, huh? Fine. I will summon my own robot minions. Arkeyan!
Now, if there was ever a time or a way for our friend Ermit to prove his worth, now would be it, and by restoring the Machine Ghost. Our friend's alright after all. Well, now I guess we're not out for revenge, but we do still have to put a stop to Kaos. And all these stupid Arkeyan enemies on these tiny platforms. I am never going to stop hating that. It is absolutely frustrating to me. The degree to which that happens in this game. Alright, one thing that's worth pointing out, because it's something I didn't know the first time I played, and it seems like it would have been good to know, is the fact that the enemies here... Wow, what even... God... Jibber jabber, I say. What even hit him just then? Alright, the point I was going to make is that... I hate this thing, too. So, remember all the obstacle dodging we did in the last game whenever we fought Kaos? Well, we've got plenty of spell damage to avoid now. The only thing to do is to try and do as much damage to this machine as possible while avoiding the attacks. That'll make this section go as quickly as possible. Interesting. Got healing circle. I don't think I've ever seen it generate quite so many of the healing magical. Oh, it's trying to heal itself. So it really behooves you to collect that. I don't actually remember doing that ever. But yeah, so the enemies that Kaos is going to keep summoning throughout the fight, they come in waves. So if you're ever in a situation where like you're having trouble dealing with them, try focusing your attacks on Kaos, and that will end the wave. Whenever you deal damage to him enough to like have a cutscene or a break in the fight, that's going to make all the current enemies disappear and advance the fight to the next stage. It's kind of similar to the way things worked in the last game, but also kind of different. Alright, looks like we've taken out that stupid obstacle generator. So what's next? Ah, Machine Ghost, no! We have to help him! Oh, that didn't take very much. Oh, he's punching.
Let's just hope he doesn't know he has eye lasers.
Well, he probably does now.
Oops. My mistake.
Ah, good. More juggernauts on tiny platforms. Man, if only they would make Skylanders juggernauts on tiny platforms. Then all of my dreams would finally come true. Alright, the eye lasers, I don't actually know how much damage they do, like, per second or anything, but they do a lot of damage, and there's something to watch out for. I'm going to focus my attacks on the fist, as I previously mentioned. Sort of hurries things along. If I have a chance to finish these guys off, I will do that in the meantime. But the quickest way to finish off Kaos is simply to attack him, believe it or not. Man, there's so many bad guys, and on such a small platform. Oh, please. Oh, okay. I thought I was in range of that, and my boost wasn't working in time. Yeah, at this point, he's going to keep generating enemies, so you're going to want to attack him as much as possible.
Now it's time to turn the table.
I am not familiar with that expression.
Me neither, come to think.
Oh, I see. Now, Skylander, attack his head.
Some of those enemies spawned in such a way that they immediately just fell into an abyss, and were never seen again. Wow, these lasers are very close to me, I don't like it. Yeah, again, we're at these stupid guys and their stupid fists, I don't like them. And their stupid lasers. There's really no good that comes from this. Oh, he also has lasers. Don't forget about his lasers. So many lasers. Even I'm using lasers. Everyone just has lasers. Is there such a thing as a laser party? Because I think we're having that right now, whether or not we want to. Alright, so this is a particularly difficult stage of the fight, and one where I particularly advocate trying to attack Kaos directly. Oh, hang on, we're gonna switch characters now. We don't want any of our Skylanders falling at the 11th hour, so how about we bring out some big guns? And by guns I mean light core bomb explosions, and hope that stupid crap doesn't happen. Alright, let's use our jetpack. Got a pretty rapid fire with this thing. Might be nice to help us take out Kaos and his remaining minions. Hopefully more Kaos than his minions, because if we can take him down, then all of his minions are probably going to turn tail and run as well. That's the way it usually works with these boss bullies. Come on, how much more damage can you take, Kaos? I could do this all day. Of course, I have better things to do. Like a little victory dance, perhaps.
My Iron Fist! My beloved Iron Fist! Out of my way, stupid robot! Come to Kaos! At last! No! The Iron Fist! Put me down, you fool!
We have to get out of here, Master.
Nonsense! Robot! I order you to...
Wowzers! Looks like the little shrimp is getting away.
Yeah, but I don't think he's gonna get very far.
Robot! Turn around! Why aren't you listening to me?
Sir, I think his power is starting to shut down like the other robots.
Don't be ridiculous, Glumshanks! Robot, do as I command!
3!
That's right! The 3 of us will turn around right now to go back to get my Iron Fist!
2!
Yes! To the island! I just said that! What is wrong with you, Robot?
1!
But I haven't won yet! That's why we need to go back!
It's been a pleasure serving you, Emperor Kaos. All systems deactivating now.
down, down he goes. Where he stops, who cares?
Well, Callie, looks like Skylands is safe once again. Thanks to me.
And what about the Skylanders?
Oh, sure, they help too.
What do you think happened to Chaos?
Oh, I'm pretty sure that guy learned his lesson. A lesson never to mess with the bravest and most handsome, exceptionally charming, and did I say handsome? Pilot in all of Skylands. But you know what's missing in all this, Callie?
No, but I'm sure you're going to tell me.
That's right. You better hold on to something, because here it comes. And ultimate boom!
Well spoken, Flynn.
Well done, Portal Master. Thanks to you, the Legion of Arkeyan war machines is now gone, and the Iron Fist of Arcus is lost forever. As for Chaos, I think he got what he deserved. Skylands is safe, for now. But I have a feeling that more adventures are right around the corner. The journey with your Skylanders and your giants is only just beginning.
You know, Jan, I have a feeling that you're right. Anyway, that does it. That's the end of it. We've put a stop to Chaos' scheme, and it wasn't quite as painful as the first game's final level, gotta be honest, but still don't love the whole tiny platforms, impossible to dodge enemies thing. Really would love to see that toned down a bit. But, yeah, I think I'll get to some more of my thoughts in a moment, but we're about to see the credits, or at least some of it. But there's someone else who'd like to share a few words with you.
That's right. Boom!
So you beaten the game, shooby-doo-wop-bop-bop. Hey, what's going on here?
Oh, these things? These are credits.
What? How dare they interrupt my singing?
You were singing?
Yes! Just now I was. Didn't you hear me? I was standing right next to you.
Well, to be honest, I've kind of been tuning you out.
Well, anyway, these things going by are called credits?
Yeah, these are all the people who worked on the game, but while they were sitting behind their desks, heroes like me were out there on the front lines facing danger. You know, basically saving the world.
That's right! We did all the hard work!
What do you mean we? We as in you and me, or we as in, well, I don't really know any other meaning.
We as in you and me! We're the real heroes!
Whoa, 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 hold on there, Slick. I'm pretty sure you are not a hero. In fact, I'm fairly certain you were a big bad guy the player took down in level 7 pretty easily, as I remember.
Oh, as you remember. I guess you had a really excellent view of that battle, sitting far, far away in your cursed ship, safe and sound, eating enchiladas.
Hey, those enchiladas were important to the safety of Skylands.
All enchiladas are important to the safety of Skylands.
Good point. Well, at least we agree on the major stuff. And no matter how small of a role you had in the game, you're still more important than these people whose names are just flying by. I mean, who reads this stuff anyway?
I don't know, but I'm sure whoever they are, they would much rather hear me singing instead.
Oh yeah, that's right. You're a singer.
Why are you saying that sarcastically? Do you doubt my abilities?
Well, since you put me on the spot, yes.
Nah, well, I'll show you, Flynn. Watch this. So you beat it.
Okay, I'm just gonna stop you right there.
Huh? Pretty good, right?
Oh, this is awkward. Look, I'm not gonna lie to you here. It was terrible. Truly, truly terrible.
Huh? But you didn't even let me get to the chorus.
Honestly, I don't think I could have made it that far. Have you considered that singer may not be the right profession for you?
What? How dare you? It was great. And I am going to have a very successful career in music. You'll see. You'll all see.
Who will see? These people, they don't care. The people who made the game are too busy looking for their own names. Everyone else is just waiting for this to be over to see if there's some secret ending after this.
You're right. Who am I kidding? I've been out of circulation for so long, I guess I've lost sight of what's even popular anymore.
Well, look no further than yours truly. I can fill you in on all the broad social trends. Most of them involve me anyway. Credits. Boom!
You mean you? You'd help me out with my music career?
Well, no. I thought we covered that already. But I'll help you find a new line of work. You know, what are friends for? I mean, look, we're not really friends or anything. In fact, I have no idea what you're even doing on this dinghy with me, but what the hey?
Oh, I cannot tell you what this means to me. You are one fine fellow, Flynn.
Well, I get that a lot. Anywho, before we start your new job search, let's say we grab some food first.
Ooh, enchiladas?
Is there any other food?
Not for me.
That's the spirit. Now let's blow this joint.
But what about all these credits flying by?
Oh, don't worry about them. They'll be here for a while. Lots of people are particularly full of themselves these days. Yeah.
Oh, I agree. It's a real problem.
Alright, I hope you enjoyed that little exchange. It's one of my two favorite parts of the final level, actually. First being the return of the Machine Ghost. I was actually, like, super excited the first time I went through that level and found out that not only was he alive and well, but that he had come to our aid in our hour of need. I don't know, it was just a really nice touch. I really appreciated that. Like I said, the Machine Ghost storyline actually, like, got to me a little bit for some reason. Usually not affected by that kind of thing in, like, movies and video games, but this one got me a little bit. Also, the fact that the Chompy Wizard may appear in the future makes me very happy because, as I pointed out previously, definitely my favorite boss in this game. Big part of why level 7 is my favorite. But, yeah, these credits go on for absolutely forever, so I'm going to give you a little bit of a spiel about my opinions of the game and whatnot, and then I'm just going to cut ahead to some things that I want to show you once that's all said and done. Seriously, it's like 5 minutes with those guys talking, and then like 10 or 12 minutes after. It's insane. They go on forever. Alright, so I'm going to do my best not to go on forever, and let's just break down Giants a little bit. So, Skylanders Spyro's Adventure sort of kicked things off, gave us an entirely new way to play a video game, at least in a sense, and it was a lot of fun, and it had this really magical feel to it. All the areas you went to in the Skylands felt unique, and they all had their own purpose. And that's one thing that I felt was lacking a little bit in Giants. Just, the level design just doesn't... It's not as nice, and I'm not even talking about the small platforms thing that I loathe, like, we'll touch on that in a minute. But just the, I don't know, like the settings in each of the places. Like Drillix's big rig is like a plot device, and the Willikin village is kind of cool, but like even that just didn't feel entirely like a village. I don't know. Just some little touches I think would have helped to improve things. And I'm not saying that it's an unattractive game by any stretch. I mean, I feel like it was a big step up graphics-wise between the last game and this one, and I really appreciated that. That was one of the things I was most excited about when I started playing the game. The gameplay itself, very similar to the first. The Giants themselves, I don't know. Jury's still out on me, honestly. Like, I enjoyed the character design. I think the Giants have some really inspired, like, backstories and moves and stuff. They're really cool, and they're fun to play with, but they just feel worse than the regular-sized Skylanders most of the time to me. And their giant size is more of a liability than a strength. I mean, the only good that they really do for you is opening up those areas with secret treasures behind them. Honestly, I generally prefer the regular-sized Skylanders, and only a couple of them are really exceptions to that. Still, I'm glad they tried something new, and I hope that they continue to do so. I'm very excited for Swap Force. From the very first announcement, I was on board with that. And, yeah, you should keep an eye out for some developments with Swap Force in the very near future. There's a reason I've been working myself so hard to get this series done, and it's not just that the long editing was starting to frustrate me a little bit. But yeah, another thing I thought was weird between games is that we went from, like, sort of nonsense sounds to, like, full-on voice acting, and in some cases it was an improvement, in some cases it wasn't. So, you know, not entirely sure how I felt about that either. I feel like some Skylanders don't necessarily need to talk. Maybe that is weird, or maybe you guys agree. You can let me know in the comments. Overall, I definitely enjoyed this game, but it wasn't quite the step up I was looking for from the series. They improved some things, but made some things worse, and made some strange decisions I didn't love. Overall, it's a good game. If you're interested in the idea, I recommend you check it out, but I recommend you don't go too crazy with the giants, because as I've said, they're not necessarily great. Some of them are, some of them aren't. It's sort of a mixed bag. Overall, still love this series. I thought there were some really solid additions, and I like the storytelling of this game very much. I think that's one of the most improved aspects, and I'd love to see what they do moving forward. Anyway, I think that rounds up most of my major feelings and thoughts about the game. If you have any questions about anything, leave them in the comments, and I'd love to chat about it. Don't really have that many people who know anything about Skylanders that I can talk to. So, I hope you've enjoyed this Let's Play very much. I've had fun playing it, despite some numerous setbacks, actually. And I hope that you'll join me for the next series, Swap Force. Yeah. So, didn't Flynn say something about a secret scene after the credits?
Well, that certainly could have gone better. But no matter. I have at least 37 more plans to take over Skylands. Each one more diabolically sinister than the last.
Lord Kaos? Is that who I think it is?
Mother?
Uh-oh.
Just wanted to say that it was a pleasure working with you all once again to save Skylands.
Why, Flynn, what a surprisingly modest thing to say.
Well, I just figured that after such an adventure, maybe it's time to turn over a new leaf. Be a little more humble.
Glad to hear it. But while we've taken down Kaos, there's still plenty for the Skylanders to do, like complete every heroic challenge.
Or beat all my arena challenges.
Or collect every upgrade.
Ooh, or destroy all the clouds.
Skylands is filled with secrets. Secrets are fun.
Well, in that case, I might as well stay the course then, huh? The boom is back!
Oh, Flynn. Don't ever change. I'd be really confused if you did. Alright, just a couple final little things to point out before we wrap things up. First off, if you go upstairs to, wait for it, the crane deck, then you will find yourself with a whole gigantic hoard of treasure. This is really nice if you haven't already gotten all your upgrades, or you know, you just want to collect some of those things I mentioned earlier, hats or whatever. It's a really nice boon for that. Also, from now on, anytime you return to the ship, you can open up the vault doors and get another, like, 1,000 gold or so. I think that the first time you open it, after beating the game, you get, like, an extra large haul, but I don't remember exactly by how much, or even if that's entirely true. But, yeah, that's really all there is to say. I went out of my way to show off a lot of the secrets to get all the upgrades and beat all the arena challenges. So that really wraps everything up, except for one final thing I've already mentioned wanting to point out, which is our last set of upgrades and exactly what that looks like. Now, I know that the paint jobs aren't necessarily, you know, indicative of the upgrades around them, but for the sake of showing off everything evenly, I think it makes the most sense to do it this way. So why don't we check out the Dragon Engine? I still really hate this flowery paint job, but the dragon masthead does look pretty sweet, as do the dragon wings, and, well, honestly, I don't really love any of the rooftops. I think I actually like the eagle roof the best. But, yeah, that shows off a little bit of everything. I again hope that you guys had a lot of fun with the series, because I did, and I hope that maybe you'll check out some of my other videos if you're interested, or you'll keep an eye out for news about new Skylander videos. In fact, I have something very special planned, and I'm sure that I'll have a video update for you guys to make you aware of the great stuff coming up soon. Anyway, see you guys later.